Welcome back again, guys. So, today I will be essentially doing what I said at the end of, I believe I said this at the end of my last video. So, essentially, my last video was a recap on life since I first started this journey of self-improvement, you could say, just for the simplest term, right? Because that's what it is, self-improvement. But essentially today what I'm gonna do, and this is something I plan on doing for majority of my videos. So essentially I'm going to take every week and I'm going to speak on topics, okay? uh Basically every topic when it comes to life and pursuit of happiness. I want to break down just my thoughts, my beliefs, and just the things that I live by, right? My values, um, my interests. No, not necessarily my interests, but like, because that's not really important. But essentially, what I want to do is put together a collection of where my headspace is now in the present tense. So right now I'm 26. It is July 30th, right? I want to make a collection of just having things that I can look back on when I'm like 30 or 40 and be like, this is where I was thinking at this time in my life, and these are the things that was going on in my life at that time. That's the reason why I you know why I may believe, or I may have thought of in a way, right? So as I progress in life, I will have different beliefs or a different thought process or different perspective, as well as how with experience I will essentially gain more knowledge, on things, so my perspective will change. But as of right now, as of 25 years of living, these are the things that I believe in. These are the things I think about, and these are just the things that I live by, right? 25, 26. I'm 26 now. I turned 26 like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, so that's essentially what I'm doing right now. Now, I just want to do a disclaimer, quick disclaimer before I do start. So today's topic will be nature. The reason why I'm going to start with nature is I truly believe that nature has the keys to life. I truly believe that. Nature in the sense of like things that people don't really think about, perspective that is very, very nuanced, and you will hear very nuanced perspective from what I may say, or maybe it's something you may have thought about. But the disclaimer I want to make is I am not the smartest person in the world, nor do I claim to be. I do not know everything. I do not claim to know everything. I am not the most intelligent or brilliant person there is, and I am perfectly okay with that. So, if I say something that may be nonsense, that may not really be even truth, this is just the truth that I know as of right now. And that is something I really want to make clear, right? These are just things that I believe, these are things I think of, these are things I live by right now in life. Um, so I just want to let that be known for anyone that may want to like, oh, that's not true, or oh, that's wrong, right? I'm not saying you can't do that. You can do as you please. You are free to correct me as well. You are free to correct any error that I may say, because my belief is, or the thing that's most important to me, yeah, that's the better way to put that, because that's really what it is. The thing that is most important to me is being closer to the truth. Now, this is now my truth, right? Everything I may say, these are just things I think of, right? These are my truths. But anything that can get me closer to the truth, that is just the truth of everything collectively, right? Not your truth or my truth, but the truth. There's nothing better than that. I like learning. I like having better understanding of things in life. That's really like what's most important to me. So feel free, correct me, say this may not be true, but think of it like this. I like different perspective. I think that's really what makes everything work well together in life. People as one society, right? Different perspectives are what got me to where I now think, anyways, right? Because I taken from one person's perspective and I taken from another person's perspective and I meshed it together and I made my own perspective, right? That's literally how we live in life. That's how we learn and that's how we believe things. We truly only believe things because they were taught to us. We can't believe in something we don't know, right? So that's something I really wanted to say. Now, what I'm gonna do is now that the introduction is finished, I am going to set my timer here. I'm gonna set a 10-minute timer so I'm not just rambling on forever about nature or any of the topics. This is what I'm gonna do every single time. And the introduction won't be this long again because I already explained myself, right? I already explained everything. So yeah, I'm gonna set this timer. Then I'm going to start talking about nature. Okay, and start. Okay, so think I'm gonna start here. The beginning. This is what I'm gonna start with. So I truly believe, as a individual, this is something I truly believe in. I believe that nature is the one gift that is not really spoken about when it comes to the gift from God, all the gifts from God, the gift of life, the gift of love, and the gift of free will, right? Nature is one of those things that's unspoken about, but if you really think about it, right now, this is not a Bible study. This is not a delving into the inner workings of the beginning creation, but truly just bear with me. In the beginning, God made Adam and Eve and he had them in the Garden of Eden, right? And in the Garden of Eden, that's where they found the forbidden fruit. Now the thing is, if you really think about it, right, they were in the garden, which is nature, right? Nature has spread across the all the continents and whatnot, right? But if you really think about it, that's really where the fall of man started. But it was in nature. So if we really think back that far and think just to how things propelled to where we are now, it literally started with two people in nature, which held the truth to life. I believe that the forbidden fruit was like the knowledge of both good and evil, which man couldn't contain, which is why we have sin. But that's beyond anything. That's for a different time. That's just my belief on that point. But so when you think about nature now, I think that we can learn every single thing about life from paying attention to nature. I believe personally that nature and life has a 1-to-1 ratio on every single thing that could happen. Tragedy, love, happiness, how we interact with each other. Literally, every single thing is in every single part of nature. And one thing that I do want to por- portray word. We're gonna go with that. One thing I want to say, um, is trees. Now I deliver, as I've said before, I'm a Amazon delivery driver, right? And I deliver in some like just very much so nature-esque places. That's the best way I could put that. But I'm just surrounded by trees and valleys and hills and this and river streams, and the thing is, it really is a hard thing to not look deeper than what I'm seeing now. I only have 6 minutes, but this I want to really make this point, okay? Because this is actually one of the bigger points I want to make than anything else. When it comes down to it, right? And I look around and I'm driving and I see, I'm just like, okay, I'm here, right? What could nature be trying to teach me in this moment? And one of the first things I've learned was that it's gonna sound very weird, but one of the first things I learned from nature in a moment was that young and old can both exist in the very same place, and that is with trees, that is with animals. you know Everything can live in harmony. That sounds very weird, but even then, just think about it, right? What would be the equivalent of that? You have grandparents and they're old, right? And they are living in harmony with the young ones. Obviously their kids are a little bit older, so you can't say that, but their grandkids, their kids, they're young. But yeah, that was one of the first things I thought of, and this is something I really thought of, like, the other day when I was driving, and I was like, man, like, when it comes to life, I feel like this sounds so weird, but like, I feel like trees are like one of the most, we can learn the most from trees. And one thing too is, trees are probably more common than anything else anyways, and trees are also around as long as a person or even longer, right? So when you look at trees, so a tree, I don't really know how the seed thing works, or how, I can only imagine that a seed from one tree falls into the ground, and then it, makes its way into the earth, and then the seed starts to, sprout. That's my imagination of how trees are truly formed, right? I don't know. I'm not really well versed in the actual, like, scientific part of nature. I'm just a very logical person thinking about what I'm seeing, okay? So when it comes to trees, and you think about it, they have, let's say it takes 4 weeks for the tree to go from being a seed that's sprouting in the earth before it breaks the earth's surface, right? And I was like, that's literally like life itself. Because in anything that we want to do in life, right, we have time to set our foundation. Now, I don't really know about anyone else, but for me, I've always wondered, why is it that some trees are leaned, or some trees are straight, or some trees are taller than other trees, and some trees are more branchier or more leafy, whatever you want to say. I know this is a very weird topic, or weird way of saying things, right? But the thing is, when you really look deeper, right, you think about it, like what I was saying was, the seed has 4 weeks before it breaks the earth's surface. It has time to set its foundation. Now, the difference between a tree that's straight and the difference between a tree that's leaned is that it set its foundation more evenly. Therefore, when it came from the earth to breaking the earth's surface, it had more stability to keep itself straight up. And that is probably one of the biggest things in life that we don't really think about, but truly in any single thing in life, relationships, business, careers, um, friendships, every single thing. You know, you're growing a child, every single thing depends on the foundation, because the foundation truly determines the longevity of every single thing. Your foundation in any given situation is what truly determines the longevity of it. Because if you set the foundation firmly, you set yourself evenly rather than where, you know, let's say the tree that's leaned, it set its roots a little bit too much to the left and not enough to the right. That's the reason why when it started to grow, it grew leans, right? And then it ended up falling over. Well, that tree had 20 years, but the other tree had 50. And that's because it set its foundation. And that was a 4-week process. It had 4 weeks to get it right. 4 weeks for 50 years. Or 4 weeks for 20 years. Like, I don't know. To me, that is probably the most fascinating what do you even call that, like, ratio thing I could think of, but it really makes sense when you really think about it. And you know, some trees are more well-rounded or taller, and it really just comes down to the formation of it. Because when you think about it, all trees are right next to each other. That wasn't that one, but the other, that wasn't the 10-minute timer, but it's basically 10 minutes anyways. But all in all, yeah, that was really one of the best things that I've came up with when it comes to nature. But I truly think that if you really look deeper into nature, every single thing, I'm talking animals, the way animals interact with each other. If you think about it, some animals can live in the same environment with other animals. The same thing with fishes, right? But some animals, they can't, because they will be aggressive towards each other, or they'll hunt each other, right? You can't put a wolf in a sheep's pen, but you can put a sheep with a lamb. They're gonna be just fine. They're gonna go off their separate ways, eat grass, and, you know, live in harmony. That's the same thing with people. Certain people you can't put in the same pen. Certain people you can't put in the same situations. Certain people you could put in the same situations, they'll be fine, but in other situations they will not, right? And that really is another perspective thing. But yeah, I don't know. I get it, like, and that's probably one thing about me, is that I have a lot of very weird, like, outlooks on life, a lot of very weird perspectives on things. And maybe in 20 years I'll look back on this video, I'm gonna be like, wow, that is so stupid. Like, where you come up with this tree analogy, right? But right now, yo, that's really fire. Like, just truly think about it. The tree had 4 weeks to set its foundation in the earth before it broke the surface to become what it is now. I bet you're gonna look at trees differently now. Truly, think about it. And that is literally like us as people. That is literally us as just people with logic and sense, and, you know, just humans in general. We are like trees. We grow up, we grow hair, they grow leaves. Same difference, bro. Honestly, like, no one can take that away from me. I'm sorry. Yo, all in all, if you take anything away from this video, I would say genuinely, like, think truly about what it is that you're trying to achieve, and what would the longevity you would like to see in that thing. And when you think about that, then you have a better understanding of how long you should spend to build that foundation, and what that foundation would need to look like before it even starts becoming close to what you like. Because in, let's say, relationship or build business, you look at a building. If you build a building with a firm foundation, you are square. If you build a building with a, even like the smallest crack in the foundation, even the smallest crack, in 10 years, that thing will become a real issue. And that truly is life. That, like, genuinely, that is truly life. That is probably one of my bigger takeaways from nature. And I truly thought about that like 3-4 days ago when I was thinking about this, actually, because I was like, I'm gonna talk about nature first, right? Because I do think that there's so many lessons to take away from nature, for life. But that is probably one of the better perspectives, or the better outlooks that I've gotten from it. So that is all for today. Next week, I think I will talk about life. I don't know. I don't know as yet, but I do know I'm gonna do a video next week. I think the week after that, it will be after August 10th, so I'll be doing an update, and then within the same week, I'm gonna do another video. Then I'm gonna start posting 2 videos a week, from that point on. But as of right now, yeah, that was it. That is the video. I appreciate anyone who enjoyed or didn't enjoy. I appreciate you watching and getting this far. That's all that matters, honestly. If you took something away from it, that's even better. I'm very happy that I could be a additive, or my perspective could help you just maybe think a little bit more outside the box, right? Because I'm like, you might be within the box, I'm like 30 meters outside the box, right? But maybe this video will help you tiptoe like 2-3 meters outside the box. That's really dope. That's amazing. And I just want to also say this, add this onto it. Anyone that is in the process of building a foundation with literally anything, any aspect of life, truly consider including God in that foundation. I know that not a lot of people are God-fearing people, but one thing I could tell you is He made it, He created it, so He knows more about anything that you may want to achieve in life than anyone else will ever know, because He's the creator. They say you take a Toyota back to a Toyota dealership when you have an issue, because they're the creators. So yeah, I just want to throw that in there. Truly think about, if you're starting a business, maybe you just tap in with God and see what He has to say about what you're gonna do. If you're starting a relationship, maybe throw God in the mix. You don't know. Maybe the outcome will be a little bit better than you may even expect. But that's just my take. You don't have to take my word for anything. But yeah, that will be all. I appreciate you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.